We're joined now by Human Chan, founder and executive director of the UK-China film Collab. Human, thanks so much for joining us. That looks like a fantastic movie. And we have seen some wonderful releases from China, a lot of really fantastic animation. But how close are movies from China to achieving the success that we've seen with Chinese gaming internationally?
I think it depends on how companies and studios can combine film as an IP or game as an IP and transfer them to film. So sometimes when you look at the success of gaming internationally, of course Chinese games have really taken off in the past few years. But then the next question is that whether they can then convert the IP into a film or potentially a TV series that can reach a wider audience as well, so that they can keep the fans and the players and the young audience for a longer journey of engagement.
What genres of Chinese films work best outside China, do you think? Is it animation?
At the moment, it seems that animation is the genre that is getting a lot of international attention. I think largely because of the home box office record that it has reached. The previous one before the current one is Naja. I think everyone is looking at Naja, why was it successful in China, and so on and so forth. But I want to pause it there, though, because I don't want to limit it just to one genre. If you look at films, how can they be successful internationally? I don't think we need to limit into genre. Any good story, whether they're in an animation form or any other genre, as long as they tell a good story, I think it has the potential to reach a wider audience, especially the young audience around the world.
Jinhua spoke so very well about those universal stories that touch all of us. But there are differences, whether it's what makes us laugh or the stories that define our particular culture. Do you think that we're ever going to truly have an international hit that works on every continent?
At the moment, I think it's looking likely, especially with several successes already up until this point. But I think instead of telling the mythical Chinese story or the folklore story, perhaps the filmmakers and producers can try something more futuristic, looking into the future, rather than telling a historical story or folklore or heritage that sometimes might be a little bit difficult for young audience to understand the depth of the history and the philosophy and culture. But leaving that alone, I think young people nowadays, I think we have possibly the most imaginative young audience around the world than ever. They have received lots of information than the previous generations. So I do think their minds are open and they have lots of options to watch online and also on different streaming platforms. So if anytime, this is the time for filmmakers from around the world, for Chinese filmmakers to try to tap into the global young audience. The young audience of the future. I think the more imaginative they are, the more kind of different cultural perspective that they are being showcased, then the better hope that we have.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for chatting to us. That's Human Chan, founder and executive director of the UK-China film Collab.